Good morning. I'm Peggy Kelly. This is Good Morning Santa Paula. And our guest today is James Mason with the City of Santa Paula. He's the Community Development Director, and that is a position with a lot of different responsibilities. And we'll go over some of the things he's involved with that are now, of course, he's helping the city handle or handling for the city, especially in the wake of COVID-19. So good morning, James. How are you? How are you this Thursday, June 11th? I forgot
I'm
to
doing
say what
great.
day it was.
It's a good day. A little warm, but it's good.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is a little warm, that's for sure. Listen, let me ask you, how's it going with the reopening of the businesses in Santa Paula?
It's going pretty well. I think, probably one of the biggest challenges that we have is just people having access to the information. Like everything related to COVID, there's so many sources of information. It can be a little daunting to kind of weed through to what exactly you need. So we've been fielding any questions or information that people may have. Most of them are being going to the county, and the county has a hotline that sends people directly to our office for Santa Paula. So
okay, that's great.
We get a lot of those calls. So.
Do you have a direct number or a direct website that they can go to, or still should they just make it easy and just go to like maybe VC Emergency?
If they go to VC Emergency, that's the easiest way to do that, because the call number on there takes you right to Santa Paula, takes you right to my number. So.
Oh, okay, great. That you can't beat that. That's great. Now, where are we at with reopening of city facilities?
We're going to do a soft opening on Monday, and really what that means is just all of the, and that's finance will be open again. Parks to a certain degree. The reality is there isn't a whole lot to do as far as programming yet, because from a state level they haven't opened up summer programs, camps, things like that. So that's kind of on hold. So that's why I say soft opening on Monday. Our office, the Community and Economic Development, we've been doing a lot online and by phone. And honestly, I may have mentioned this before, but we're really going to focus on maintaining that as the new normal, because it serves the customer so much better. People don't have to come in. If they have questions, we can get them all the information. We're currently working on getting as many of our forms that are online in a form format. And if you're familiar with that, a lot of things are in a PDF you got to print up, or it's in a Word document you got to print up, fill out all the documents. With a form, you can just type in everything, hit send, and it comes right to us. So we're changing all that. And for people that maybe don't have access to technology, we're working through some of those things too. But it's making it so much easier.
So no matter how computer savvy you are or not, whatever, the city's more than prepared to help you get everything taken care of with your paperwork and your applications and your forms. And if you are, because I know, I don't know how society has existed without that form format now, where you can just go ahead and type it in and it's right there and it's saved. So that's great. Have you been getting a lot of calls?
Yeah, well, everything from, obviously the development is busier than we've ever been, I think as a city in general, number one. Number two, on the business calls, I would say probably 5 to 8 a week. And they're usually kind of clustered together at the beginning and the end of the week. Everyone's going into the weekend, especially retail businesses are wondering, what's next. So, but it's been a lot of, Santa Paula, a lot of what's happening as far as people understanding what's going on is happening by word of mouth. We just want to make sure that word is correct and accurate. So.
Right. I can only agree. Now, when you say that it's going to kind of change to the new normal of maybe doing more over the phone, are people going to be able to like make appointments and then somebody will take care of everything, and that way too they can do all the pre-prep?
Yeah, and that what we try and do is kind of pre-plan, because generally what happened before, we had a good portion of our customers for development projects, whether that's a hot water heater or building a subdivision. They'll just show up at the counter, without a call, without anything. And realistically, we've got an experienced staff, but when somebody's got a project or an area and they want to do things, we need to research it and find out what the code says and all those things. So if we can pre-plan, set those things up, have them ready to go, and then have a conversation, and we are doing it by appointment. The other thing related to COVID is if people just show up in impromptu, I mean, there's times before COVID we had 15 people in the lobby,
That's
so we
true. I've
can't
been
we
there with
can't
that.
handle that.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do appointments and make sure when people do come in, we have all their information and we can make their process smooth and quick. And that's the
Yes.
big difference. So, and if
Yes.
they don't have computer access, they don't understand what to do, we can walk it through with them and fill it out online here, and then they can come in and sign whatever paperwork. But
Oh,
even
that's
then,
great.
payments are done online, and occasionally we have people that want to drop off a check, but it's working out really well.
Oh, that sounds very efficient, and actually it saves the resident time too, or the developer or whatever. It saves everybody time. To
Yep.
get in the old days, I remember one time I had to get a permit for a water heater, and it seemed like it was a little longer than it should have been. This was quite a while ago, but it would be so great to call up, say, this is what I need, and everybody says, well, this is what you do, and I do it, and I give you maybe my credit card over the phone. You guys accept that type of payment?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Now, speaking of money, what's happening with the county small grant program?
So the county board of supervisors approved $20 million, which is split into two portions: $10 million for business grants and $10 million for renter assistance. So I believe they're going to announce the applications and the process next Wednesday. So that's currently what they say on their website. And there's certain criteria for businesses. They have to have their net profits within a year have to be less than $2 million, and there's other criteria that they have to meet. But that'll be on the application, be on that VC emergency business drop down. But they're looking at $5,000 increments, and our hope is that the way that they distribute them will be have some equity within the county. I hope it's not first served, because I would hate to have everything go to Oxnard or somewhere else. So we're going to work with that to make sure that and I'll tell you one thing that's really important to this. I think some people were a little apprehensive about the attestation process of filling out their business registration, with COVID and with the county, and that's one of the first places they're going to send application information to, is those people that have already registered, because they'll have all their business information, and they'll probably get it before we do. So I think that's something people should pay attention to. If you haven't registered, if you've been a business that didn't have to close during COVID, still register, because if you're interested in that grant, that information will be available.
They said to sign up, because I did that, because of course, being a newspaper, we're considered an essential service, and we are. But anyway, they said since I didn't have to register, what I did have to do though was I went and I signed up for notifications. So that's what they had me do when I signed up to find out about that. But you're right. Most businesses have had to register, and they'll be notified. I'm really pleased that there's so much continuity with this whole effort on the part of the city and the county and the state. This has been something that's a disaster, and it certainly is helping. Now, they're also doing as you mentioned, they also have $5 million for families that need rental assistance.
Right, and the way that works right now is all of these are grants. They're not loans, so they're based on need and are not don't need to be repaid. But grants for the rental assistance are based on the size of the unit, and so basically for a studio or one bedroom is $1,500, and for studios $1,500, one bedroom's $2,500, and two bedroom or larger, and the maximum is 2 months of rent owed. So there's this maximum amount would be $5,000 for somebody that had two or more bedrooms.
Sure.
But that's something else to watch out for. That VC emergency under COVID, which automatically comes up. If you look under assistance, whether business or residents, it'll be there. So we're waiting for that.
The city had already gone ahead and passed an ordinance putting the brakes on evictions and things like that. So this actually really works well with that, because now are they going to actually pay the landlord, or do they provide the funds to the family or the single person? Do you know offhand?
They haven't defined how that's going to be paid out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think a lot of this. I think they got a little bit of the cart before the horse. They got the money available and
Uh-huh.
approved. They just need to make sure that they've got the program in place to
Mm-hmm.
distribute it.
Sure, then they can, yeah, then they can go ahead and define it. That's for sure. That's for sure. And once again, speaking of housing, I hear we're having a surge of home sales in the area. I'm
It,
really happy to hear that.
it's kind of amazing. I don't think we could have predicted what the impacts would be. And I understand that building services and construction are an essential service,
Uh-huh.
but it did not miss a beat. We are seeing more permits than we've ever had in this office, and I
Well, I'm
think
glad to hear
they
that.
just eclipsed 100 homes sold at Harvest last weekend. And
Mm-hmm.
then every weekend they're having record weekends. I mean, they had one weekend where they sold 11 homes. Last
Uh-huh.
weekend they sold 6 homes. The weekend before that was 4 homes. And I mean, they're breaking their records for the region, not just for Harvest on
Sure.
selling homes. So,
Well, I think part of that too is probably people have to have places to live, and when they want a new house, they want a new house, or if they want to move, they want to move. Plus the fact you can't beat the interest rates now. This is like about the lowest interest rates they've had, I don't know, in a long, 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 long time. And they get new houses in Santa Paula, as beautiful as it is. It's still the best bargain in Ventura County,
oh yeah,
and
no
we're a hidden
question.
jewel.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, I say almost jokingly, but it's real. People that have to telecommute and aren't going to the office, they're sitting in their house and they're looking around at their house going, yeah, I need to fix that. I really don't want to fix that.
Yeah,
Let's
that's a good
see what
point.
we can get for our money, and
Mm-hmm.
let's start
Mm-hmm.
fresh.
Oh, I
So I
think
think,
that's an excellent,
and with those
excellent.
low interest rates, that's you really hit the nail on the head. So.
Yeah. Now, do you feel that there's a lot of talk that they feel that and of course, if you are telecommuting, you want to be in not only a place that's doesn't need any fixing or anything, but also just a beautiful area, and in Santa Paula, and of course I'm a Santa Paulan at heart, but it is a beautiful area, so it affords itself and it's very serene and calm in Santa Paula, even when
Well,
all
I
hell's
mean,
breaking loose.
if you look at around the county at a lot of developments that are, uh, under development or available right now from the standpoint of single family homes, it's hard to beat Santa Paula based on location, and the Harvest based on the amenities. So if you're looking for
Yes.
quality of life and lifestyle, you've got everything you need right there. And
Yeah.
and you're only 15 minutes from the beach. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of things that, that same house next to the beach is probably $2.5 million. So that's
Exactly.
another. So I,
Exactly. And we're right in the middle. I mean, we're 20 minutes from the Highway 5, and we're 20 minutes to the 101. So you can go anywhere from here. But most people, I think they want to stay here. And I think that they are going to transition where a lot of people that have proven that they work very efficiently at home. I do believe companies will go ahead and start encouraging that, and at least offering that. What do you think?
I have a friend that works for. He's an editor for Wired magazine. So
Uh-huh.
he's in San Francisco. So they were working from home before this even happened because they kind of had a premonition and they got ready for it. Well, he works a lot because of what he does with tech companies. Finding out what's happening new and up and
Of
coming.
course.
And
Mm-hmm.
folks that he's talking to are, going to shift to telecommuting. I mean, if you think about it, how many companies have, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases in facilities to
Exactly.
house people? And if you
Mm-hmm.
just cut that back, their bottom line completely changes. San Francisco's got Salesforce. They have one of the tallest and most expensive buildings built in San Francisco, probably in the last 25 years. And it's full of people. And you think, gosh, what could they have done if those people were telecommuting, and how much money would that company have? So, I mean, those
Yeah,
are the kind of things
that's
you
true.
think that's a big shift. And I think that's one of the things. Resiliency comes out of these challenges, and we find new ways to be effective and efficient, just like we did in our department. We're doing more online. It's probably something we should have done, 5 to 7 years ago, but we're here now and it's getting better.
Yeah, and also I guess telecommuting too. They've proven that it does wonderful things to our air quality and our environment, and we should encourage it. Now, is there anything that I should have asked you and I didn't, or anything you'd like to add?
I think that's probably everything. That's
Okay, well, that's quite a
good
bit.
right
I
now.
appreciate it. Yeah, that's quite a bit. And I know the city is now they're going to start opening their doors, like you said. I talked to Dan Singer, the city manager, today. He says that they probably won't be having open planning commission or city council meetings till maybe September or the fall. So, but I know that people, that's the beauty of having these things either audio taped or broadcast. So, and I know that the city's been good about that for quite a while. So
Well,
always
one thing I'd mention on that is, pay attention. People that have interest in what's happening from the standpoint of policy, council meetings, planning commission meetings, those meetings are posted online.
yes.
The agendas are posted online, and access is posted online. So if you have something on there that you have interest in commenting on from the standpoint of a public comment, there's a way to do that. You can call in, you can send in an email and to the record. So, pay attention. We've been really excited about how this community's been participating and just being involved in public policy. I've seen that change in the 3 years that I've been here. There's more people and very positively involved to where,
Yes.
know how to interact, and they're making good changes in our community and helping the decision makers meet the needs of our community. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe the city's general email address, or excuse me, website is spcity.org. Very easy to remember. Okay, that's great. So anyway, I appreciate it. It's wonderful talking to you today, and have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
And everybody out there, have a wonderful weekend. Once again, this is Good Morning Santa Paula. Be sure to check us out on kadytv.com or .net, either one, and subscribe. Be sure to like us, and we'll see you soon again, James. Thank you. And I'm Peggy Kelly. Have a great weekend.